I think I'm ready to open it. Now, before we just go ripping the box open, a lot of people have asked me why I'm so excited about this unit. Let me tell you. And it's funny, as I just put this list up there, I was like, I forgot the most important thing. Let me jot that at the very end of it. So first off, 10 gigabit per second WAN and LAN port. On this unit right here, you've got a WAN port. This is actually an SFP interface for fiber or copper SFP that you want to put in there for the WAN and for the LAN, right? To where you can have it feed on from the outside in at 10 gigabits per second. Now that's awesome. And there's a big misunderstanding. People are like, oh, it's 1 gigabit per second because it actually has a integrated switch in here that runs at 1 gigabit per second. That's great if you want to use the 1 gigabit per second port, which will work for 90% of the world out there. But if you want to go for 10 gigabit per second, you have that ability. And you have a second WAN interface right there that you can use. You can either use the copper, this is a copper WAN interface, or the fiber WAN interface. And that's actually the second port right there. It supports a dual WAN configuration. So you can have wide area network failover, or it actually does cellular as well. You can have a cellular card stuck in there and do a cellular-based failover, right? IPS and IDS at 3.5 gigabits per second. This, I almost shuffled that to number one because for a long time, Ubiquiti has come up short on the firewall aspect of things. That is, their edge router and their unified gateway. I mean, they're great, but IPS, IDS, which is intrusion prevention system, allows you to annihilate threats as they're coming in that don't match a firewall rule, right? They're not like, oh, block this port. This is literally malware viruses that can identify it and destroy it at 3.5 gigabits per second. So yes, it can't run at the full 10 gigabits per second, but 3.5 is great for most people if you're doing IPS. Deep packet inspection, so you can identify traffic at the application layer. So all kinds of stuff runs over port 80 nowadays, or port 443. With DPI, you're able to identify what it is, who's sending it, and apply policies based on that. Integrated network controller. So they used to have, well, they still have the little thing, I think it's Cloud Station, maybe, I'm not sure. A separate controller box that you would have to buy, or you would install a controller software on a Linux-based or Windows-based platform to run the network. That's your wireless access point, your switches, your gateway, all that kind of stuff. Now they've integrated that into this little unit, as well as integrated video software. Their Unify Protect platform allows you to do video surveillance. As a matter of fact, I bought this unit with an 8 terabyte hard drive. You can buy it straight from the Ubiquiti store, where you can actually do historic video recordings stored right on the gateway itself. Is it really a gateway at this point? It's almost bundling too much stuff into one, as well as a redundant power supply option. Another huge missing feature from Ubiquiti stuff until as of late. Their latest generation of switches and their now unified Dream Machine supports 2 power supplies, one delivered direct from the AC wall outlet, right? The second delivered through a redundant power supply unit. And I'll talk about that more when I unbox this thing. The best thing of all at the bottom is the price. This unit was $370. Huh? Like, for all of this stuff, for $370 that's pretty amazing. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's head over there and unbox it. Now, first off, you can see that I got 2 things here. I have the Dream Machine Pro itself, and I bought the 8 terabyte hard drive from Ubiquiti. Maybe paid a little bit more, but seemed like a reasonable price. That'll be for storing all of the video surveillance for the integrated video controller on this guy. So let's see what comes in it. Top box. Looks like it contains the power cord, little quick start guide, the rack mounts, and look at that. Very Apple-esque. Looks like all the screws, the rack nuts, and little rubber feet all put in this nice little beautiful holder. Put all that aside, and let's pull out the Dream Machine. Whoa, look at that. Little rubber stoppers sticking. They actually have a little hole cut in the wrapping for the SFPs. That's funny. So little rubber stoppers sticking in there. Pull this guy out. On the back, we've got the power. You got the power cord and the space for the redundant power supply. Now you got to buy a separate unit for the redundant power supply. I think it's in the range of about $400, and it actually supplies redundant power to up to 6, I think, Ubiquiti devices. So really affordable purchase if you're thinking about business stuff. Up front right here, over here is the 10 gigabit per second WAN and LAN connection. These are for SFPs, so you can get copper interfaces or fiber optic interfaces if that's what you want to do. Also has an optional RJ45 WAN port because a lot of people don't have SFPs or fiber optic internet connections coming in. And right here is the 8 individual gigabit Ethernet switch ports because this has an integrated switch into it. So if you just had a home internet connection, like you were using, a cable or DSL connection, you'd have your WAN come in here and feed it out on a gigabit Ethernet. Not many people have 10 gig connections at home, but if you did, you would just get a 10 gig switch and then have the WAN come in the SFP and have the LAN connection come out on an SFP as well into that 10 gig switch. Right here is the slot for the hard drive that I have right here. Might as well install it while we're here to store video recordings for the Unified Protect service, right? The video surveillance. Over here is a protected LCD display. That will be where it displays status, temperature, all that kind of stuff that it cycles through on that. So let's get the hard drive installed. Wow, it's like spring-loaded, pops right open. There's our caddy. I'll take the sticker off, although I'm wondering, you're supposed to do that, right? Supposed to. Let's open up the hard drive. They got a nice little pull tab right there on the ceiling. Nice. Hard disk. I should have some kind of static protection right now, but I don't. There we go. 8 terabyte hard drive. Looks like they've got a Western Digital thing going on. Screws for it are going to be right here. I need to get a screwdriver. All right, got a couple different sizes. Let's get this thing lined up in here. It looks like there's only one screw hole that actually lines up on this hard drive. The others are blocked off, but this is a tight fit. I mean, it's not like it's just going to flop right out. So I'm wondering if a smart person would look at the quick start guide right now. This quick start guide is completely worthless. It's like pull out box, plug in cables, use app. Everything else is all of the legal and FCC regulations and everything else that's on there. So that's not helpful. You know what's interesting? They've got one screw on here that is looks like it would be used for something else, and I'm gonna make a bet that that's used for the hard drive. Like a glove. I'm going with that. Slide that back in there and clip. It's kind of a push lock on and off. Let's get the rack mounts on. All right, I think we're ready for installation. Well, welcome to the MDF of the Chara house, and I see a nice little slot for this right here. By the way, I saw it. It was the Cloud Key. I said Cloud Station. It's the Cloud Key that this thing is going to end up replacing because it has an integrated controller and video surveillance recording. That's what this little box used to do before. So I'll get this installed right here. All right, there we go. Let's get it powered on. There's no power switch. You just plug it in and go. There we have it. LCD's powering on right there. Wow. I can't even hear this thing. I mean, granted, there's some other equipment, but literally this thing is... It makes me wonder if the fans are even working. Yep, I hear fans, but this thing is quiet. You got a little line going across the screen that shows it. I'm guessing that's its loading progress. Well, it looks like the loading is complete. It says ready for setup on the screen. It looks like the MAC address of the unit right below it. I'm assuming this is where I'd grab my phone and wave it around with the Ubiquiti app, and it would start the setup of this thing. So this has been good. This is a good stopping point. In the next video that I do on this, we'll get this guy cabled, configured, and connected to the internet. For now, keep it simple.